Welcome to Game Dev Log number 1 on a game that doesn't have a name, but has been in development for, I don't know, a couple months, probably like 6 months, I guess. No, wait, 5 months? But I haven't put that many hours into it, so time's kind of however you want to interpret it. This is going to be a Zelda-like, of all things, and I wanted to make it kind of simple and easy at first, so the character, if I remove the armor, because this will make more sense. 2 frames of idle animation, 2 frames walking animation, and then it can just be mirrored. That was it. No arms. Easy peasy. Look at the mouse. Walking up and down just maintains your left and right. I've seen this done before. Looks great. I'm going to equip armor. There's, different weapons you can equip, shields, and you just attack towards the direction of where your mouse is pointing, which is really hard to see right now. So the idea from this is it's going to be kind of a Zelda-like. You'd walk around, you would do things, get different items, solve some puzzles maybe. I actually wanted the shield. Um, and that sort of thing. Nothing too fancy. Oops, I got the item, can't let it go. There we go. So you can see some of the weapons just like stay on top of you. There's a kind of an alright dialogue system set up. It's actually from a really good plugin, but I'll talk about that later when I actually have more stuff to show for it. Some of the mechanics, like Zelda-like heart life boxes because I needed a placeholder. Lunch bags, you can hold down H, and then after a little bit, one will go down, your life gets restored by a set amount. Coins, and this thing that says friendless is actually because you can recruit NPCs as your friend. And when you recruit NPCs as your friend, you'll gain certain abilities based on who you have recruited. I'm not sure how I feel about that entire system at this point because I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of an idea that came about like midway through something, and I put it in, and now I'm not really sure if that was necessary. And that's why you should probably stick to your original ideas and not add weird things. I'm going to stop moving right here because one thing I wanted to talk about really quick in this devlog is you can tell there's a hotbar down here. This wasn't here used in the game at all. I built it in originally and I just didn't use it because again, I wanted to have, an equip slot for stuff. I actually don't like that. I want to go back to using the hotbar, which I didn't actually take advantage of before. It's built out in the sense that you can put stuff in there and then you can scroll the mouse to like select different things. I want this to override the weapon slot, and the reason for that is that there's a bunch of different weapons. Certain weapons have different properties, which enable them to do different things. Like I don't want projectiles to be able to break plants, because I think it's fun to go up and like smash the plants with the sword rather than throw a rock at the plants and have them explode. This will then create a situation to where, or if you have puzzles based on you need to hit something across the gap, so you have to use your bow, but you really don't like using ranged weapons, and you just want to go through fighting with swords, you'll have to bring up the menu and switch your weapons, do one thing, bring up the menu again, and switch back. And that's too much. And if you could just like toggle through, that'd be fun. And also, maybe there'll be different weapons that are more situational. I think that would be fun. Or just some weapons that are really fun, but actually not really like useful. Those are kind of my favorites. So ones that you'll only have a chance to use once in a while, but if you can pull it off, it's really cool. But like for the most part, you're not going to do well if you use them consistently. So hotbar will be helpful for that. Here's the trash bin, doesn't question anything. It just deletes stuff immediately. I will say this was originally just like a solid page. Like you'd hit the inventory button or menu and it'd just be a full screen menu. So I cut out the unnecessary parts so you can see the game behind it. And now as I'm mousing over stuff, and I have this little section down here that tells you, rocks and description or stick and description. I kind of want to get rid of that entirely and just have like a little pop-up smaller screen or smaller window that just pops up over whatever you're mousing over. So that way you don't have to keep directing your eyes to the bottom right, and it can free up that space entirely. And then I can just kind of rearrange stuff around. And I think then being able to hover, I don't know, I think that'd be better. In the same manner, like you don't need a total power here. They tell you your weapon's power. That's already, when you mouse over, it'll tell you. Like I don't. It just seems kind of redundant to have that. And then defense, I guess, like I don't know. You could just mount like if you just mouse over your clothes, it tells you it's +1 in the corner. I don't know. It seems like something's redundant there, and I'm not really sure. Um, I had a quest system built in. And I took it out because there's only one quest, and I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Um, as you can tell, spears are fun. And if I run down here, kind of, oh, yep, he has a bow. So these human-like enemies can spawn with different weapons, and they're really aggressive because that's how I made this. Why so much life? There we go. The coins fly towards you. They kind of miss sometimes. You can have them orbit around forever. Um, there is. If he gets too close, he'll kill me instantly with the stick because I did not scale anything correctly. Anyway, as I was saying, one of the first things I want to do is actually make the hotbar usable. I want to do that. I want to revamp this inventory screen system a little bit more to make it a little more friendly. I have nothing here but items in the menu. I plan on having like a bestiary. I may bring quests back. It'd be cool to have a map because I have no maps here, and that's going to involve changing how I structurally set up areas. I think it's going to be worth it. One thing that I've noticed a lot of recently is if you hit an enemy, whoop, oh, he just died. They flash, get knocked backwards, or they just explode in like a poof of smoke. I saw a lot of stuff that people have done that shows that there's a lot of room for improvement on that, having more of that. Like um, taking advantage of, I'm using the Godot engine, so I could take advantage of the tween system to really give some sprite stretching effects, and that would be fun to have it so like there's more of a knockback effect when you hit people. That way I don't have to create like individual like injured animation frames for everything. What is that? I guess oh, it was a shield. Huh, I put a shield there. That was fun. I guess I don't need it. And then shields, right click, you can see the shield that disappears over top of the spear. They deflect one thing. You're actually invincible from every angle while the shield's out, but you can only reflect projectiles and things if it hits the shield. Mostly because there are weapons with big enough hitboxes to where if you put the shield out, it'll just hit you through the shield. So I was like, all right, full invincibility. But yeah, I think there's more stuff that could be done here. Like even just the poofing of enemies, it could be more of a dramatic impact. It should feel a little bit more fun. Um, the most fun part of this game shouldn't be just spinning the mouse around when you're holding a spear. Yeah, I'm a windmill. But it kind of feels like it is right now. Let's see. In a second. Oh, there's too many. There's a save spot up here. Saving works. There's no animation effect for that, of course. I think there's enemies that spawn here. They can spawn right on top of you because I didn't do anything to prevent that, which is really unfortunate sometimes. This is Lester. He's a boss. His hitbox accidentally got shifted, so it's kind of impossible to hit without a spear or a projectile. Or yeah. And then let's see if I can reflect one of these. It won't damage him, but ooh, there we go. Even that didn't feel very intense. Stop shooting. He doesn't stop shooting, by the way. I just didn't really flesh him out yet. Oh, no, don't touch him. He doesn't do that much damage, so that's good. There's sharks on the beach that can somehow two-shot you. This is not supposed to be bullet hell. There we go. Lester's gone. Eh. And that's basically all I've got, really, so far. I mean, there's some mechanics. You can buy stuff. There's actually a couple other things, like if you're near a spot where you can sell as opposed to selling to people, there's certain areas like bins we can sell stuff. Another UI entity appears right here we can drag stuff into to sell, and also there's a slot that appears down here if you're near item or near places where you can put items in. So if you need to like put an orb on a pedestal or something, that's done that way, and it works. But again, I feel like with a lot of the things I've done so far, I've checked the box of like, this is a functional thing that works, but I never really fully finished a lot of it. And I think what I want to do now is actually backtrack and really flesh some of that stuff out, really make the game feel a little bit better. I think I have enough created structurally now to where I can start to see all the cracks and holes and gaps and issues with this. And I think I'm in a good spot to take a step back. I'm not too far along to where rewriting or retooling stuff is going to be horrible, but it's definitely the right time to do that. Um, I think, but there's going to be a lot of work to be done. But I think that'll be good for devlog showing and just having some fun with this project. And so I've got a list. I've got a huge list of things I want to do. I want to make things look visually better, visually more fun. Obviously, I say obviously, but a lot of games do like a light screen shake on impact when you hit things, and I've used that before in other projects, and it's great. And I didn't with this one because I didn't think it would feel the fit of the game because it wasn't originally going to be so combat focused to where you'd want all the effects to be combat related, but I really miss it. That like slight crunchiness when you hit things is missing, and I think I really want to work on combat first. Another thing I wanted to do, and this came up, was um, some things I really like in games I don't have in this. Like there are no damage numbers, which again, if I have damage numbers floating over enemies when you hit them, you don't need to care too much about what the power is and like having to check to make sure weapons because you'll visually see it like you're doing more damage or not with the hits. Um, and then on top of that, I think that there's so you can play with the coins. This should again things that are the most fun part of this game are not intentional, which I guess is most games. But like I could do this all day. Take that, Captain America. Um, And look at me, look at me, look. Oh, I'm rich now. How sad. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna work on stuff, see what I could do. The character doesn't have like a sprint or dodge roll. I just keep slowly increasing his base speed because like if you have a sprint, I don't know. I don't know. I'll think about it. Like I think some of that stuff will come about when I have better combat mechanics. Like what do I actually need? Because right now, see, look at that. He spawned on me with his spear, and I can attack first because his range is not adjusted for a spear. But I almost died, so that's fun. And he just appeared in the trees, so that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked on, could be done. I'm feeling pretty good. I feel confident. I've seen a lot of things that show where improvements can be made, what they can be, and I think I'm happy with kind of like the art design and sprite style. And oh gosh, the sharks just run at you, and they're really obnoxious because you can hit them and it doesn't stop their momentum, even though there's knockback. So they can run you down pretty quick. And while I'm here, last enemies, butterflies, sort of. They kind of look like floating gloves, but that's okay. Um, but yeah, I think there's a good start to this, and I think moving back and starting over will be good. And I'm just rambling and repeating myself right now, but this is how you make videos long enough to be worth watching. Am I right? I do have one last thing to show. One last thing to show, and it's not important at all. Not the slightest. Also, you can walk over the shells. You can't walk over the rocks. I feel like that's slightly confusing, even though it kind of makes sense in a way. Um, there's Changus McSharks, and it's a big shark, and it's I don't know. I'm really entertained by just he's gone. I won. That's it. Defeated the game. Um, this is a start. And I think sometimes that's all you have. I do have a full intro created where you wake up in a forest and navigate your way through and stuff, and that's okay. I think I like the majority of that, but I might revisit that too, depending on how some of the other changes go. Um, Again, because if you can switch weapons and stuff quicker, then maybe part of the intro will involve actually like having to switch to different weapons to do different things, so the player can be taught about like the importance of variety in life. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I got some stuff to work on, so consider this devlog number 1 complete, and that's about it. And I'll end this by being shot in the face. Yeah.